Welcome to the Intuitive Health Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Anthony Rafferty, medical doctor, PhD, shaman, and Reiki intuitive healer. I'm here to bring you on a journey of holistic healing that explores the science of the physical body combined with mental and emotional well-being, energetic and spiritual health. I'm here to talk to you today about something that's really, really important and something I see so regularly within my sessions and within my own physical body. And that's an imbalance within our masculine and feminine energies. And now, when I talk about the masculine and feminine energy, I'm not talking about these kind of gendered ways in which we look at masculine and feminine. I'm talking about it from an energetic perspective. So we could call it yin being the feminine energy and yang being the masculine energy, or we can look at it as just two polarities essentially. But for the sake of this conversation and to be in alignment with a lot of other sources, which you can go on and do some further research into this, I'll talk about these energies with regard to the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Now, regardless of gender, all of us have masculine and feminine energies within the body. We all carry the divine feminine. We all carry the divine masculine. And it's really, really interesting when we take a deep dive into masculine and feminine energies within the body, because it reveals an awful lot to us about how we're showing up and maybe where we have wounds that need to be healed. So, for someone that has a beautifully healed divine feminine energy that's very much in alignment with their divine feminine energy, they're very intuitive, they're grounded, they're receptive, they're reflective, they have very strong boundaries, they're empathetic and compassionate, they're very open to vulnerability, they're very supporting of others. However, if we are operating from a space of wounded feminine energy, we can be insecure, we can be needy, there may be codependency that arises, we may manipulate situations, and this can happen on an even subconscious level to try and provide some sort of control over circumstance. We can be over emotional, or we can actually act within a victim space. And you know what? Sometimes we can dip in and out of these wounded spaces. And it can be really troubling for us and sometimes for the folks that are around us. So, generally speaking, I tend to see a lot of people that come through my door that tend to be over givers. They're the healers, they're the helpers, they're the people that show up for everybody around them, while essentially using up any little source of energy they have within the body in order to meet everybody else's needs. For folks who come through my door that are in this space, oftentimes a boundary is non-existent for people, because what happens is anytime a boundary is erected, which keeps a safe distance between your energy and another folk's energy, we begin to move it. We shift the boundary in a way that sometimes actually we're like, well, actually, let's just get rid of this boundary and allow people in full on into my energy. And unfortunately, when that happens and our boundaries, even if we didn't have any in the first place, when they go out the window, it means that our energy is open for everybody to come in and take. Now, sometimes because we live in a space of wounding with being people pleasers, we give away a lot of ourself, but what we're preserving is the deep vulnerability within us. So there's a wall up that keeps the vulnerability safe, but actually the boundaries are gone out the window because we're happy to give our energy away, but we still don't want anybody to see the actual vulnerability that lies within. And it's really, really interesting because the vulnerability is the stickiness. That's the space we don't feel safe sitting in. That's the space that we don't feel safe for other people to see. So what we do is we get really, really busy. We get really busy to distract ourselves from the stickiness that might be inside our own body. And oftentimes we create these absolutely brilliant and beautiful facades on the outside that protect other people from seeing the vulnerability or the stickiness that we have inside. And I was listening to this amazing audiobook a couple of weeks ago that kind of went in a little bit deeper into worth and value. And I really loved the mentality behind how they approach this, because I think it's a lot to do with why we tend to show up with facades or feeling we have to live in a very dominant energy of doing all the time. With regard to the masculine energy, the divine masculine energy, when it's in a very healed space, is that we're deeply present. We don't judge others. We're very disciplined. We can operate from a sound sense of logic without being too much in our head. We can provide a lovely sense of safety and security and protection for others. We're very honest and accountable. And there's a lot of security and responsibility that we can show up within. When we're in a wounded masculine energy, we can be very controlling. There's some aggression or unprocessed anger there. We can withdraw very easily or avoid things that we aren't comfortable with. If something is triggering a deep emotion side of us, sometimes we can avoid that rather than actually approaching it head on. We can be incredibly competitive. And sometimes aspects of our life can be a little bit unstable. Archetypes of the divine masculine and feminine tend to be our mother and our father, or dominant female figures or male figures within our life. Now, it's really quite interesting because within society, how our parents have showed up for us and how generationally or how people showed up with it within the family, that really varied, because oftentimes our fathers were out doing the work, putting the bread on the table, keeping the house over the head. However, at home, our mothers were showing up in their dominant energy because they were the ones cooking, cleaning, doing absolutely everything, keeping the kids happy, doing the homework. They were running around, keeping everything, all the fires put out. So essentially, what we saw within the archetype of the feminine energy was actually they're in a very strong doing energy. They're in their own sense of masculine. But where was the go with the flow energy? The connected to the earth, the lineage, the land. And also within our paternal line, they were also strongly in their dominant or wounded masculine energy, because there was no time to stop. Oftentimes it was very challenging to find time with the kids to actually be part of the familial structure that just went with the flow. It's been amazing in so many ways that we are striving towards a society that provides a lot of equality and equity. But oftentimes now, I feel a lot of the female clients I have through the door, they're under pressure now to be showing up in their own wounded masculine, that they have to be operating so heavily within that space that it's almost like we've all become completely discombobulated to what it's like to actually just slow down and give our body a chance to think with the gut, with the heart, rather than being completely up in our head, being stimulated on social media all the time. Because our body has the answers, our heart has the answers, our gut has the answers, not our head. And oftentimes, I'm so passionate about microbiome health, about gut health. We often call the gut the second brain. To be honest with you, we need to be calling it the first brain, and we need to stop listening to so much of the chatter that goes on up in our heads about not being enough, about running out of time. I constantly see this with my fertility clients. Women coming through to me in complete distress because they've been told that the day they turn 35, their fertility goes down the tubes. That's not how that works in the body. But that's what we've been told. We need to be in a constant state of doing and a constant state of stress. And society is creating this crazy vortex of energy for us. Whereas actually, what we are craving is connection with each other. And it's to actually take a step back and to come into the body and stop worrying so much about what the world around us is telling us we're not doing quick enough or not doing enough of. And come into the body and tune into the heart and the gut and be like, actually, what's my body telling me I need? Maybe I actually just need 5 minutes to sit with myself. So that actually, if I'm coming from a space, it's a space that's being driven by my gut and my heart. Now, it's quite interesting because oftentimes we can look at the balance of these energies and how they reside on either side of the body. And this is really, really interesting, actually, because people come through to me and they're like, everything happens on the right side of my body. Actually, the left side of my back is killing me here, there, and everywhere. Or, all of the injuries that someone gets, it's on one dominant side of the body. And immediately I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is really pointing me in a very strong direction here. Because oftentimes the divine feminine energy is associated with the left side of the body. It's our receiving side. How we receive intuitive messages from the universe, how we receive love, how we receive money, how we receive friendship, gifts. All of these things flow in through the left side of the body. Whereas on the right side of the body, that's our connection with the divine masculine energy. That's our doing energy. That's putting all that beautiful intuitive knowledge that's come in on the left through the divine feminine into practice to show up for ourselves, to follow our path, this soul's journey, our highest self, our highest purpose. We step into doing on the right side. We reach out with the right hand and we take what our heart's desire is. So, when we're kind of getting a lot of issues on the right side or the left side of the body, it kind of tells me where there's an imbalance in the energy. Is it to do with how we're allowing things flow to us? Are we open to receiving from the universe, to receiving love and care and all of these beautiful things from the world around us? Or are we heavily in a dominant doing energy? Now, when we are operating very much in a wounded masculine energy, we need to show up in a way in which we feel we have to constantly be doing, constantly distracting ourselves, constantly operating from a space where everything has to be perfect in the world around us. And oftentimes that's because we feel unsafe by just sitting within our body and feeling the sticky discomfort that goes on inside the body. But it is interesting because when I was really leaning into even receiving my intuitive abilities to be able to feed into people's energy, to read their energy, I needed to be able to be in touch with my intuition, which meant I really had to do a lot of deep diving into actually, am I open to receiving here? And funnily enough, things like money, love, all of these things are just energies that the universe is waiting to give us. So if we aren't in touch with that slower, more intuitive, beautiful, divine feminine energy, we often aren't in touch with being able to receive things like love, things like money, all of these things, because they're all just energies to the world that the universe is trying to give those to us. But, sometimes we're actually like, no, thanks. Because there's a block. There's a block on that side of the body. There's a block within what safety within the divine feminine energy looks like. So sometimes I tend to say to people, if they come through the door, do you have a dominance on one side of the body or the other? Do you get a lot of health conditions or issues within your health or physical body on one side versus the other? And, when you actually tune into the energy of the body, does one side or the other feel dominant? And that kind of gives a good idea as to whether we're sitting in a very dominant masculine or dominant feminine energy. So Generally speaking, I think it's just to really bring ourselves back to this kind of feeling of connection to the land, slowing down, and being able to be in touch with our body, with the earth, and with our sense of intuition. And what I'd love to do right now is to be able to bring people on a little journey, a meditative journey, to come back to the body, to allow yourself to be open to receive intuitive messages, to connecting into the energy from the land, and just guiding people on a journey, just a journey through the body to actually connect through a body scan into the body and just begin to have a little feel into, am I overdoing? Am I overgiving? And am I open to receiving? So, what I'm going to do is just walk you through a short body scan so that you can actually be in the body. And maybe this is the first time you've had an opportunity to do this today. Maybe this is the first time you've had an opportunity to do this month or this year. So I urge you to just find a nice quiet space, even if it's sitting in your car with me in your ears, just for the next 10 minutes and come back into the body. So just taking some time to close your eyes and just feeling your bum on the seat wherever you're sitting. And just taking a big deep breath in through the nose, breathing deep into the lungs, deep into the belly. Feeling the belly expand as wide as possible. Deep, deep, deep breath in. And then just slowly let the breath out. Allowing the belly to sink down. Take another big deep breath in through the nose. Allowing the chest to expand, the belly to expand. Breathing deep into the body. And allow it to just move out through the mouth, through the nose. And again, a big deep breath in through the nose, expanding the chest, expanding the tummy. Take another little sup of air in, just holding it briefly at the top before you let the air out again. Allowing the belly to reduce down, allow the chest to just compress again. And what I want you to do is just put your hand on your heart. And just setting the intention, just saying to yourself, reveal to me what I need to know today. Reveal to me what my body needs today. Reveal to me what my body needs today. What is your intuition telling you that your body needs? Just calling back all of your energy to your body that you've given away to every little job, every person, every environment over the last couple of hours, over the last couple of days. Just saying to your heart, I call back all of my energy. I call back all of my energy. I feel all of my energy returning to my body. I feel all of my energy returning to my body. I can feel it coming back to me. imagine that beautiful energy is filling the heart space. And just releasing all of the energy that's not yours, sending it back to the recipients with love and light. I release all energy from my body that is not mine. I send it back to the recipient with love and light. I feel all energy leave my body that is not mine. So now we're just going to ground our energy down into the body. Just imagining the most beautiful light forming just above the head. And just calling that light back into the body. Imagine it moving in through the crown. And as the light moves through the body, imagine every little part of the body it touches just relaxes a tiny little bit more. Allow the light to flow over the scalp. All the muscles in the scalp completely relaxing. Allow the light to wash over the forehead. Bring attention to the forehead, allowing it to completely relax. The light moving through the brain, changing all the little neural pathways, completely quieting the brain. Quietening down all of the chatter. The white light bringing complete calm. The light moving into the ears. Relaxing the ears. Moving down through the face muscles, really relaxing the jaw. Healing all of the tension in the muscles of the face. Just bring some attention to the tongue as the light moves in and around the mouth, relaxing the tongue in the mouth. Allowing the light to move down now through the muscles in the neck. Completely relaxing all of the muscles in the neck. All down the left side of the neck. The right side of the neck. And as the light moves down over the shoulders, imagine all of the weight that you're carrying on the shoulders lifting off the shoulders. It's dissolving it away. First of all, allow the light to move down over the right shoulder. Now over the left shoulder. Allow the light to move down through the left bicep and tricep in the upper part of the arm. Over the left elbow. The left forearm. The left wrist. And in through the hand and the fingers on the left hand, completely relaxing all of the muscles in the left arm and hand. That's opening up all the beautiful energy or receiving energy to allow that beautiful divine feminine energy to flow a bit easier on the body. Bringing your awareness back to the right shoulder now, allowing the light to flow down over the right bicep and tricep in the upper arm, over the right elbow, over the right forearm, the right hand, all of the fingers on the right hand, bringing the light back to the top of the chest, moving down the front of the chest. Allow the light to wash down the front of the chest. The right pectoral muscle, the left pectoral muscle. Feel the light penetrating through the rib cage and imagine it just completely spreading within the chest. Through the heart, the lungs, washing down the back, through all the muscles in the back, the right side of the back, around the shoulder blade, the left side of the back, around the left shoulder blade, and moving down through each one of the little vertebrae of the spine, relaxing every little part of the spine. Pulling the light down through the lungs and the diaphragm into the tummy. As the light moves down through the tummy, completely relax all of the tummy muscles. Relaxing all the tummy muscles on the right side of the body. Relaxing all the tummy muscles on the left side of the body. Allow the light to move through all of the beautiful organs, all of the bowel, everything completely relaxing and healing in the tummy. The light moving down through the lower part of the spine, every little vertebrae. All of the muscles on the right side of the back relaxing. All of the muscles on the left side of the back relaxing. Calling the light down into the pelvis. The right hip. The left hip. Allowing it first to flood down through the left thigh, the left hamstrings, the left knee, the left shin, the left calf, the left ankle, the left foot, moving back to the right hip. Allow the light to move down through the right thigh, the hamstrings, the right knee, the right right shin and the right calf. The right ankle and the right foot. Just scanning slowly from the very top of your head to the tip of your toes. Just having a little look at the light in each of those spaces that we walked through. Does anywhere feel like it needs a little bit of extra light or love today? Just send it some light and love. And again, just placing your hand back on your heart. And just asking yourself, now that your energy is fully in your body, what do I need today? What does my body need today? Just allow it to give you the answer. And just keep bringing yourself back to this space throughout the day where you are fully connected with your body, you're fully connected to the light that you hold in the body, and you're fully connected to what your body needs. When you're ready, you can just slowly wiggle your fingers and toes and just slowly open your eyes and come back into your space. So hopefully that's given you a lovely little short meditation to come back to the body, to bring some light and some energy and your full sense of awareness back into the body. And so from my heart to yours, the end of episode 6 of the Intuitive Health Podcast. If you liked this episode, please rate, please follow, please share with anybody else you think you might enjoy. And yes, I'm so looking forward to talking to you again next week. Lots of love, Dr. Anne.